Okay. Good evening. My name is Peg Ruddy, and I'm the Executive Director of the Women's Resource Center. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Center's very first virtual event. I also want to thank PNC Bank for being tonight's sponsor. Tonight, we will be announcing a very special fundraising campaign. It's the Women's Resource Center's Restoring Hope campaign. The center provides vital life-saving services to adults and children who are victims of domestic violence, sexual abuse, dating violence, and stalking. And we provide these services in Lackawanna and Susquehanna counties. Like many agencies, we're holding tonight's event virtually due to the COVID-19 virus. As you know, the COVID-19 has affected all of us. The realities of this virus create a perfect storm for victims of intimate partner violence. Numerous national reports indicate a spike in calls to crisis hotlines around the country from victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse. The stay-in-place mandates and being locked down with your abuser create a very dangerous situation for our community members who are not safe in their homes. Often they're supportive friends they cannot rely on because of social distancing, and it's very difficult to find a private space to get help. Even before this pandemic, the Women's Resource Center resources were stretched. Advocates respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to crisis calls and women in danger and survivors of sexual abuse. Last year, we responded to over 8,000 hotline calls. Our attorneys have waiting lists for clients seeking civil remedies to the violence. Our housing advocates provided 14,000 nights of housing to survivors of domestic and sexual abuse. And our prevention team engaged over 2,000 teens in our communities to educate them about what does a healthy relationship look like. That prevention work is very important to the future of community and its safety. The Women's Resource Center, as many nonprofits are, we're heavily dependent on government funding and fundraising events. The board of directors decided that we were going to initiate this capital endowment campaign for two reasons. One, so that we could grow our programming to meet the needs in the community, and also so that we could ensure our sustainability well into the future. Right now, I want to turn all of our attention to a brief video. You're going to see three very brave women who decided to tell their stories to us and to you that will highlight the importance of the work at the Women's Resource Center.
In July 2009, my ex-boyfriend set my house on fire with me and my children in it, killing two of my sons.
And when I exited the vehicle, he was standing in the middle of the road with a knife, and that's when I started to run, and he chased after me with a knife. He grabbed me by my face and took an electrician's knife and sliced me from lip to cheek. It was 1/8 of an inch of being all the way through. Then when I started to try to run away from him again, he grabbed me once again by my ponytail and said to me, "Say goodbye, this is your last breath."
Me and my son had to kind of go into hiding for quite a while, and it really helped to know that I could call somebody else and get help to go into a safe house, or I could call them if I was on the side of the road and my abuser was circling around me, because the cops don't always get there as quick as you need them to be.
I think this community needs to know that we do have distress, families in distress in this community. And it's easy to say, well, you know, this is a small community, people have been here forever, that kind of stuff doesn't happen here. But that's not true. It does happen, and when it does, people need help.
I would describe the Women's Resource Center as a place where women and children can go and be safe. Women that are being battered or having problems in their lives.
The mission of the Women's Resource Center is to end domestic and sexual violence in our community. The Women's Resource Center provides comprehensive services to adults and children who have been victims of domestic and sexual violence. We provide 24-hour access to a hotline. We do counseling. We have safe housing and transitional housing. We have our own support groups, and we also go to court. We provide civil legal representation. The Women's Resource Center has a very positive relationship with the local Scranton Police Department. We work with all the police departments in our communities, and we rely heavily on, being able to rely on the police to help keep individuals safe, and they rely on us as a place to refer adults and children that are being injured in their own home.
Well, I think the Women's Resource Center is essential to helping individuals, women in our community that would not necessarily have any other people to stand up for them. But I think they understanding of what individuals in need, survivors, are going through, because some of them have been there, they have the specific training that to get the survivors through their life-changing issues that they're having, to give them that extra hand that maybe has been holding them down previously, and then now they're starting to lift these individuals up so that they can get the help and support that they need to change their lives for the better.
Legal representation is so important because, again, so many people can't afford attorneys. If you think about it this way, you don't have an attorney, you walk into court. It might be the first time you're seeing the person that has physically hit you, has called you demeaning names every day, has controlled the money so you don't have any money. So it's the first time you're walking to court, you're nervous, you don't know what to expect because no one's told you what court process is like, and the other side has an attorney. So suddenly, another attorney is coming up to you and saying, well, I represent your husband, your boyfriend, whoever it is, and how about you agree to this? And kind of pressuring you into an agreement where you might not know what all your options are. You might agree to something just because you're scared. But having an attorney there means that someone's telling you, okay, wait a minute, here's all your options. And by letting you know what your options are and what the pros and cons of each option are, you can make an informed decision regarding what's best for you at this point in time. So it's really giving someone more advantage when they go into court, in the sense that they know what their options are, and you can talk about what that means for their safety.
They put a roof over my head. The Women's Resource Center gave me a place to live for a year. They helped me make sure I gave my son a good Christmas. They gave food, clothes, because, coming from a fire, you have to start over. You have nothing but the clothes on your back. And they help you rebuild yourself, rebuild your life step by step.
I would invite everyone who sees this video to really seriously consider supporting this campaign. It's great work. It's helping people in crisis who really need a hand. And I just think it's life-giving work.
I believe that I'm alive today because of God and help with the Women's Resource Center, so please help with it. It's much needed.
I would ask that everyone give as much as they can to the Women's Resource Center Capital Campaign. Every dollar that they raise stays locally to help support their great work and to expand upon their great work. Sometimes we don't know what women are suffering from locally. They could be our family members, our friends, our co-workers. And the work that the Women's Resource Center does helps these women to get over their crisis. But they can't do that unless they have the support of the public. And the support of the public, the way that we can give back to our community and give back to helping individuals in need, is to donate money so that the good people at the Women's Resource Center can do their great work.
The Women's Resource Center is launching a very special fundraising campaign where our goal is to raise $2.5 million so that we can ensure future programs of the agency. Please join us in supporting the Women's Resource Center's capital campaign. you can consider making a 1 to 3 year pledge. All of the gifts that we receive as part of this campaign will go directly into helping adults and children that are victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse. Your gift will make our community safer. Thank you. I always find that video very powerful, and I hope you do too. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our Restoring Hope campaign co-chairs, Dave and Ann Hawk from the Hawk Family Foundation. Dave and Ann have been longtime supporters and friends of the Women's Resource Center, and we are truly grateful for their leadership. Ann?
Good evening, and thank you, Peg. Tonight I want to talk to you about domestic violence. Often it is shrouded in secrecy. Sometimes we don't know if it is happening next door or to someone with whom we work, or even to someone in our own family. The statistics show that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience sexual violence, physical violence, and/or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. These numbers are staggering. Just imagine, every year more than 2,000 women in crisis situations come to the Women's Resource Center for help. Many of them bring their children. Since 1976, more than 62,000 individuals have relied on the center for help, to help them return to a life of normalcy, a life of hope, free of pain and fear. In recent years, a growing number of men have also come to the center for assistance as well. I thank God for the Women's Resource Center is here to help these victims who are in such desperate need. Many have nowhere else to turn. With your help in mind, agency staff and volunteers will continue to assist people through expanded programs and services, and by building an endowment fund towards securing the future of this wonderful agency. Together, we will Restoring Hope, which is the title of the capital campaign we are announcing today. My husband Dave and I are so grateful to be chairing this very special fundraising effort. Working closely with staff and volunteers, we are raising $2.5 million, and we are well on our way to success. I am very proud to announce that as of today, we have raised almost $1.4 million in cash and pledges from individuals, companies, charitable foundations, and other organizations who care. And I hope that you will join our efforts to reach our campaign goal, to help us restore hope for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault here in Lackawanna and Susquehanna counties. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to turn you over to my husband, Dave.
Well, thank you, Annie. Well said, by the way. First of all, I would certainly echo what Annie did say, and that is, it is a pleasure and really a privilege to be part of this very important campaign. And as Annie also just reported, our goal is $2.5 million. We're 55% of the way. We've raised almost $1.4 million. That money has been raised by a very small group of very dedicated volunteers who we call our campaign cabinet. And those folks on the campaign cabinet have gone out and talked with a variety of people in the community, many of them their friends and associates and community leaders, looking for 1 to 3 year pledges towards our campaign. And as you heard, we're really seeing some very nice success. We're very pleased where we are. And so today, we are enthusiastic about announcing that this is a campaign we are going to go out to the public with. Every person in Susquehanna and Lackawanna County can certainly contribute, and we hope will contribute to this campaign. No gift is too small. No gift is too large. And I can guarantee you that together, with all of us working together, we will succeed and go beyond our hopes and dreams. This campaign really means that it asks everybody to sit and think about what you can contribute to this campaign. We're not worried about small or large. We're really concerned about having participation, people saying, yes, that's a very worthy cause, and I'd like to support it. If you can't support it, then maybe you can help us by recommending someone you know who can support the campaign. Recommend that they give a listen to some of the publicity that you'll be hearing about. So everybody can help, everybody can participate. It's very interesting. 10 or 15 years ago, we sat down with a good friend of ours who was raising money for a different agency, a different cause, but nonetheless an important one. And at the end of her talk with us, she looked us in the eye and she said, "If not you, who?" And I'm telling you, that really sat Annie and I back in our chairs saying, wow, it is important that we participate in this. And I would ask exactly that same question of everybody viewing this tonight. If not you, who? Please give serious consideration to this campaign, and please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Your remarks, and especially your commitment to making this campaign a success. This concludes our virtual event for this evening. On behalf of the Women's Resource Center Board of Directors, Association, staff, campaign cabinet, and Dave and Ann Hawk, I want to thank you for taking the time this evening to engage in this very exciting virtual event. I think you can hear it. We are all confident that with your help, we will reach our goal. Thank you very much.